asked me this yesterday, and I asked you to ask it in front of this because I know that there are a lot of people that would probably want to hear the answer.
I spoke to Monica Rial before. She was going to help me out, but I guess she's been too busy, I assume, to,
Well, let me answer your question, and everyone else's as best I can. How many of you guys have some kind of interest in voice acting? That'd be cool. Yikes. Okay, well, anybody that sounds like me must leave the room now. Everybody out. Okay, here's the thing. There are two things about voice acting that you need. The first thing about voice acting is acting. The key word in voice acting is acting. Everybody that I know, every voice actor that I know, save two, and I know probably 100 in the business. Two of them. Everyone else has a huge background in stage and acting. There are people that never intended to be voice actors. They just wanted to be actors. They did television. They did on-camera stuff. They did stage work. They did performance-oriented things wherever they could to develop their skills as an actor. And then, somewhere along the line, as luck would have it, they were given an opportunity to voice act. And so they kind of adapted their skills as an actor into voice acting. And it's a whole different set of skills, if you think about it. You know, if you're a movie actor, you can just stand there and look at somebody, and the audience knows exactly what you're feeling and what you're saying. That didn't work in voice acting. It's got to be heard. And there is no one else in the booth with you. You're not creating a scene with anyone. You're recording alone, as opposed to being on stage where you're creating a moment with another actor. There's no audience. So when you say a line that's supposed to be funny, guess what? Nobody's there to laugh. So you don't know whether it's, you know what I'm saying? Gestures, facial expressions, all that kind of stuff are lost in voice acting. That's one of the reasons why a lot of famous Hollywood movie actors are sucky voice actors when they play roles in, like, you know, Shrek things or Pixar things, you know, 3D CGI movies. We've all heard them, featuring the voice of so-and-so. Well, yeah, they're great movie actors maybe, but that's because a lot of their talents are based on visual skills that they have, and it doesn't translate. And when you listen to just their voice, they sound kind of flat and boring because they're not used to that. It's a different set of skills, but it's still acting. That's the point. A lot of people say to me, I can make funny voices. I can imitate Homer Simpson. I can imitate Yoda. That's awesome. The problem is, it's not about imitation. There's already somebody doing Homer Simpson. There's already a Yoda. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, but if he dies, you can do it.
If he dies, if I kill him. You know, there are already people doing, and you know what? The goal is not to imitate someone else. The goal is to bring your own skills as an actor to the table. For instance, if this guy right here, if this guy, what's your name? Brad. If Brad could imitate Chris Sabat doing Vegeta, and he goes, check this out, and he goes, check this out, listen, I do just like him, and he does it, and he says a line from Dragon Ball Z, right, and it sounds just like him, but that's amazing. Well, then you say, yeah, but do this, and suddenly, not so easy, because there's no reference to imitate. See what I'm saying? If I say do Vegeta like angry and whatever, he may do a line from Vegeta being angry, but then if I say do Vegeta being whatever, some emotion that he's never seen Vegeta do, perhaps without any acting experience, wouldn't be as good. See what I'm saying? Because the goal is not to imitate a voice, the goal is to be able to portray the character accurately through all of the different emotions that a character goes through. Like Ed. I mean, it would be really good if the actor who plays Edward Elric can do these very quiet, emotional scenes. But if he can't spaz out when he gets called short, you gotta hire somebody else. See what I'm saying? You have to be able to do the different things involved. That's why acting is so key. So get as much experience as you can as an actor. Don't wait for some big role. get in school plays, get in church programs, get in community theater. Anything you can do to develop your skills as an actor, okay? The second thing is you have to be where the work is. That's a sad truth, but you know, if I wanted to be, I've used this before, if you've seen it on YouTube, forgive me, but if I wanted to be a country western singer, guess where I'm going to move? Nashville. Country Music USA, right? I mean, that's where that's done. Now, I'm sure there are country bands or country whatever elsewhere, but that's the place where that happens. And just in the same way, there are places where voice acting happens. Texas, Dallas and Houston, mostly Dallas, Vancouver a little bit, Los Angeles, New York, and a little teeny bit in some other places. Like there's a little bit of stuff done in Toronto, there's a little bit of stuff done in North Carolina, but that's pretty much it. The main hubs are Texas and LA. That's where most of it's done. So you have to be where the work is done. Now, I would never, and I know Monica would never encourage somebody to drop their life and move to LA to be a voice acting star.
She said to, if I wanted to, that she's the same age as you. She said that she was stationed from Texas. So.
Well, even then, none of us would ever encourage somebody to drop everything and move someplace, because I'll tell you something else that you may not know. I don't know more than a couple of voice actors who make a full-time living voice acting. Now, I know we're getting serious, but that's important for you to understand. If you have any desire to be in voice acting typically does not pay a lot of money. Now, what you don't make in money, you get in doing something that you love. That's the trade-off. You do something fun, you do something you love, you get to meet people around the country who enjoy your work. That's the compensation for me. It certainly isn't the money, because it doesn't pay very well. And most voice actors I know have other jobs. Even me. I write and produce music professionally. I do graphic and design. I do video and film production work. So no matter how much you do, it doesn't pay a lot of money. There is a very small little tier at the top. If you get cast in Toy Story 4, you're going to make a lot of money. See what I'm saying? But there's one Toy Story 4, and there are 6 million other little productions that don't pay hardly anything. So there's that very small upper echelon of mainstream, widely distributed voice acting movies and shows and stuff like that, Simpsons, that kind of stuff. But who gets into those? Very, very few people. So my other encouragement to you is this. If you really want to pursue voice acting, or whatever you want to pursue, do it because you love it. Don't do it because you think you're going to stand up in front of a big room one day and people are going to clap and cheer and you're going to sign autographs and stuff. Trust me, that's the wrong reason to do anything in your life. Okay? I'm an old guy. Now I'm talking to you like you're my children. Okay? And I want you to know I love you guys dearly, and I want the best for you. I want you to know this. Listen, I'm going to be real serious for 1 second, and then we'll be lighthearted again. I told God a long time ago, I want to be able to help make a difference in people's lives. It's not going to come from cartoons. It's going to come from being able to impart something of value to them that's going to make a difference, whether it's in their career or in a pivotal moment in their lives when they're struggling, or when they're in certain years when they have some loss or tragedy. That's the greatest thing I could leave behind. And what I would love to leave with you is do something, try to find something that you have been gifted at, that you would love to do, and figure out a way to make money at it. Doesn't have to be a lot of money, because I promise you, I've said this before and I'm going to say this again. If you've heard it on YouTube, I apologize. You will be infinitely happier making $30,000 a year doing something you love than making $300,000 a year doing something you hate. I promise you. I watched my dad go to work every day in a three-piece suit and carrying a briefcase, and he hated his job. Consequently, he hated his life. And even when he wasn't at work, he was